Peace, family. My name is Vicki Dillard, and thank you so much for tuning into my channel here at VickiDillard.tv, my personal channel, that is. I'm so pleased that you have joined me today. I know some of you all have heard and seen me initially on other platforms and networks that I've helped to build and grow over the years. And of course, I am still on some of those other platforms like African Diaspora News Channel, their apps and YouTube and all that kind of stuff. But family, today I want you to tap in with me here. Let everybody know that they can come subscribe to my personal channel here. Hopefully you can see me okay. It has been a minute since I have been consistent, but I told you I wasn't going to abandon you all, but I wanted to make sure that I tap in with my family here because I've got some other exciting announcements coming up soon on some other alternative media platforms that I'm going to be on as well. Yes. And so stay tuned for that information. Like I'm seeing somebody here. It says Commander Grand is here. Is that Eunice? Dr. Creole says Smooch is back live. Is that live? Yes. Hey, Precious. Zavon, is it Dynasty? I see y'all coming. Okay. So I'm just glad that y'all can see me. Okay. Y'all know we had a glitch the other day when I came on. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Who is this? Cass Young. Oh, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Your magazine is. You got the magazine. Yay! I'm so glad you love it. Yes, tell them, sis. Tell them. I'm gonna have to look. My team didn't even know I was going live. I just popped in really quick because I talked about this on another channel, another network, but I wanted to talk about this very briefly because members of the oppressive class, baby, they are crashing out. Somebody said, "Beautiful chaos, I am here. I see you. I see you. I see you." Oh, I'm so glad you liked it, Cass Young. Yes. Oh, you said you got it a couple weeks. Okay, yes. So for those of you that don't know what she's talking about, beloved, I still have my magazines. Let me get it here that you can get on my website at VickiPlanet.com. Family, we're going to put the link in we're going to pin the link in the chat when I'm done here. Y'all look at the bag. Isn't it just, oh my God, it's just imagine what's inside. And so for my sisters, I reveal God is sacred secrets of manifestation on the inside. So y'all don't want to miss that, baby. And brothers, get this for the lovely lady in your life. I can assure you, you're going to thank me later. Yes, y'all hit that thumbs up button and share. Hello, mother of all phenomenal learning. Oh, Anthony, how sweet. Oh, that's so precious. Thank you so much. Yes. How many of you all know as women, we manifest differently from the masculine? Yes. And so it's important for us to understand that one of the articles I do, among others, this one about the black rose. Oh, that's real insightful, isn't it? G. Bangura. Hey, goddess, your pick was beautiful. Thank you so much, precious. Your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Look, y'all do not waste no time, baby, coming on in with the loving gifts and kind words and stuff. Your gifts are blessed 1,000-fold. Yes, family. Thank you all so very much. Family, I do have a little bit of a ritual that as you come on in, giving us a big thumbs up, and share the broadcast, okay? That way other folks will know that you're here, that we're here. Yes? Thank you so much. This earlier today, I did, y'all, a 2-hour lecture, my monthly mastermind school. It's so yummy. For the past several months, we've been dealing with how we manifest out of thin air. We're literally ship-shaping the world, first our world and the world through the power of manifestation, literally using resources out of thin air. That is to say, we use the unseen to bring things into existence. Yes, Vicki, you did your thing on that magazine. Looking forward to the next girl. Look, let me tell you, don't even play with me right now, girl, because I'm already up to something. I am already up to something. So in addition to I got my upcoming 90-day Goddess Mystery School. That's more of my high-end school that I'm doing for my ladies for 3 months. Y'all, it's going to be almost, I do an activation that's almost on the level of a mini initiation. It's very powerful. And then my teachings and the secrets that I reveal and the purse package that you're going to get. When I call it a purse package, I mean, you're going to get a workbook. You're going to get a potion, and you're going to get one other gift that we can't talk about here. The brothers can't be out up in our business like that online. And then for my brothers, I'm doing your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Who is this? Give freely. I just got a notification for your gift. Your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Thank you so much, precious. But my brothers, I'm doing a 60-day course. My ladies is 90 days, 3 months for my women. That's a hiring course. By the way, we'll have payment plans for both of these hiring courses. And for my men, it's called Treasures of Darkness. The two focus for my men is going to be on providing and protecting. Instead of being out here hating on women and, mad and all this kind of stuff, I'm going to give you metaphysical, spiritual secrets. This is not even a topic that that's not normally my thing. But again, when my spiritual court gives me insight on stuff, I share it. Yes, because men are uniquely designed to provide and to protect. You're made up, even physically, biologically, a certain way to provide and to protect for your family. And unfortunately, we've gotten away from some of those elements. But if you tap into the spiritual connections and spiritual secrets, brother, you'll bring in resources when you're divinely aligned. So that's the reason why I'm doing this, not because this is something that I normally just, go out to do to try to tell somebody, no, baby, my spirits are giving me insight and people are getting signs and wonders and manifestations, baby. So that's why I do what I do. And so brothers, instead of hating, and being a part of these little groups that don't have wives and women and that's mad, and I'll just get away from that, because they don't have women, they wifeless, and they don't have a lot of money. They don't be happy either. And so men that love their wife, they call them simps and stuff. The simps be happy. The simps get made love to. Talk to me. The simps have the sweetness and the joy of life. The rest of y'all mad, and you want to infect other men with your madness. Y'all better get away from the men that don't have good lives. Talk black to me. Y'all better get away from them fools. Talk black to me, baby. The women, they do stuff different for the men that like them, that love them. It's an energy thing. It's not just physical. It's an energetic thing. That's what you missing. That's why y'all be out here mad, because you energetically off. You can't be talking about you high value, you this and that, and you can't attract that. You attract what you are. Talk back to me. Funny looking self. And then out here infecting other men, getting in groups and doing broadcasting channels. That's crazy. That's weird. Wow, husky men, huskies together like that. Coming together like y'all huddling like a football team. That's crazy. Just mustaches and goatees and sweat and testosterone, just blessing each other and around each other and leaning on each other's shoulder for what? No. That ain't it. No. That ain't how to do it. And stop trying to talk men that love their wives and stuff out of stuff. She do stuff for him different. She would never do that for you. She can feel your energy. She know you don't like her, so she don't like you. You see how to go? You don't like her, she don't like you. It's an energetic thing. Talk black to me, somebody. Gwendolyn, greetings. I'm feeling radiance from you in this moment. Always. Y'all are so precious. Thank you so much. I've been feeling radiant, beloved. There's a lot of shifts that I've been making privately. And in fact, this is some of the things that I want to share with my divine brothers and sisters out there. It's spiritual. That's what we got to go. We got to tap into our spirituality to manifest. Yes. I love that word that you used when you said radiance. Thank you so much for your kind words. How the orange guy going to give our taxpayer money, but not us. Okay, talk black to me. I see my sister Lisa Parker. Hey, precious, one of my moderators. She said, "You more beautiful queen. You more like a beautiful queen." Vic, thank you so much. She has been with me for a long time on all the platforms. When I was on Fly Nubian Queen, when I'm on African Diaspora, when I'm on here, there, everywhere. My sister has been with me. When I had my little fledgling radio broadcast years and years and years ago on a religious network, she had my back, baby. Thank you so much. Y'all hit that thumbs up button, share. Okay, family, enough chit chat. I talked about this before on another network, family, and a lot of people watched it. And it's very, very interesting because I had to expose this. Now, a lot of folks have different types of people have been watching this particular video that I'm going to show you. Let me get the sound up. This is under the Copyright Act.
Something we may have been hearing a lot from farmers is...
Let me get this ready. Hold on, y'all. Everybody hit that thumbs up button, share. Now, I want to show you all just a brief clip. This is a lady a few weeks ago. This is fairly recently. She was actually running for office. Her name is Sarah Tabor. She was actually, I think, running for a position. She's a farmer. She was working as a farm hand at one time, and then she owns her own farm. Y'all, she revealed some very interesting information. Of course, y'all know I have to do my research and back up some of the stuff that I hear folks say. But family, when I did this on another network, people were tripping like, "Oh my God, I didn't know this." So I wanted to share it with my family here. Yes, I see your brother Cool Keys. That's one of my other moderators. That's one of my long supporters there too. Family, listen to something that she says, and she specifically, the context of this brief clip that you're gonna watch. The context of this is she's talking specifically about white farmers, right? Now she's a Democrat, but she privately talked to some of the conservative and Republican um farmers, stuff that they would normally not share with other folks. She'll briefly talk about the fact that there's some stuff some of them didn't want to go on camera, so that's why we talk about she leaking some of this information, because some of this stuff that the public don't want you to know, that this was what was going on behind the scene. I love you back, precious. But anyway, family, y'all listen to this. I want y'all to listen to a little bit of something that she reveals here. I'm sure you all remember and are aware of the fight, right, that some of our Black farmers have dealt with. Now, I talked a little bit about that many times before over the years, right? Now, one man in particular named John Boyd, he's a Black farmer. He's known as an activist, though. There are many other Black farmers that are out there, obviously, but he's the one that's been out there in public in terms of his group, his organization of Black farmers coming together and crisscrossing the country to really press for the billions, somebody say billions, that the farmers are owed from the U.S. government. Yes? That's right, Cool Keezy. 2 billion is insane, precious. Well, I've covered Mr. John Boyd many times, and in the past and in the recent history, right? So just before the presidential election, before Trump, how many of y'all know under the Democrats were refusing to do right by them to issue the checks? They've been suing y'all since Jim Crow, no exaggeration. And then so when it was finally ruled in their favor that they supposed to get a couple of $3, talk black to me, couple three. Somebody say couple three. When it was finally ruled in their favor that they were supposed to get a couple of $3, the Democrats started stalling out. So Mr. John Boyd and the Black Farmers Association came forward and told the Democrats, they said, look, we've been voting for y'all, we've been playing with y'all, we've been supporting y'all, we've been covering for y'all. But if y'all don't issue us some checks before this election, see, that's what they did right before the election. They said that they told them that we're going to sit down and talk to the Republicans. So lo and behold, the Biden administration magically issued a couple of checks. Are y'all listening? Yes, that's exactly right, lady. Sun vibes. We are supposed to vibe with the masculine. That's exactly what I'm talking about. If y'all don't know what she's talking about, watch the whole broadcast if you just coming in. If I hit that thumbs up button, share. So in case y'all don't know, I have covered Mr. John Boyd. I'm trying to see if his picture is in this particular article here. This is a separate one. This is one of the headlines. I want y'all to look this up when you get a chance. This is from NPR, this particular article that says here, this headline. Can y'all see this headline? USDA issues payments to address discrimination. It says USDA issues payments to address discrimination against Black farmers. Now, that article that you just saw is from 2024. Yes? Somebody said massive respect. So, yes, precious. Just to give y'all a little background, it says that Black farmers got $2 billion in USDA payments to address discrimination in farm loans for decades. Somebody say decades. The decades she's talking about is Jim Crow decades. For decades, Black farmers and others have argued that they've been left behind by the USDA's lending programs. I'm going to give y'all a little bit of history about that here in a minute. It says that this week, the U.S. Department of Agriculture announced the rollout of a long-awaited program. Somebody say long-awaited. Program aimed at addressing past discrimination. For decades, Black farmers and others have argued that they've been left behind by the USDA's lending programs. When running for president in 2020, Biden vowed to fix that and bring more equity to farming. So how far does this new program go in accomplishing that? Well, NPR's political reporter, Ms. Pastillo, has been following this program. She does this interview related to that, but I'm just trying to get you all to see how the Democrats know that this has been a big deal, and they've been talking about this for quite some time. And so the Black farmers basically had to hold this over the heads of the Democrats for the Democrats to even issue that little measly $2 billion. Somebody say measly $2 billion. Measly. Somebody say measly. Now, I want to skip real quick because I wanted y'all to see this his picture in case y'all don't know, because y'all know I've been covering him back to back. Just pull me up and you'll see I've discussed him in the recent past and a few years ago. This is the man I'm talking about. Y'all know y'all recognize him, Mr. John Boyd. Y'all see that tractor back there? I've driven something like that before. One time before. I hate when them ads pop up. That John Deere. Okay. This article, y'all, is from July 2024. So a year ago, last summer, right? I just want y'all to see. From AP. Listen. Black and other minority farmers. Y'all see the headline? Black and others. Minorities. They always like to throw us under the bus. Now, before I read this, I did another bit of commentary on him some months ago, because I told you I stay on top of these topics. Y'all be like, moving on. No, I don't move on. I move on when justice is had and when I don't apply enough pressure to ship shape stuff. They want us to move on from topics. Talk about it one time so that they don't have to be held accountable. No, you have to keep the pressure on. Somebody put a stiletto in the chat for me. Somebody put a stiletto in the chat. If y'all don't know, the Vicki Show is the home of the hand claps and the gavel raps. One of my longtime supporters came up with that phrase for me because she said, because I'll be clapping my hands and bamming the gavel. Somebody put a cowboy boot in the chat. Somebody put some stilettos in the chat. Yeah, Cool Keezy and others. Y'all listen. Black and others. So they every time they want to do something for black folks, they want to, blackmail us to make sure that everybody else get the goodies too. Even though we're the only one that didn't do it, this kind of stuff. Listen. So I just got to give y'all a bit of history before I play this clip. The Biden administration has doled out more than $2 billion in direct payments for black and other minority farmers discriminated against by the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The president announced Wednesday. Now, when did I say this article? Well, this is the AP. I showed you a different one from NPR, the first one. But I wanted to find the one that so you can see his picture. So that's why I moved from that. But anyway, this one is from 2024 too, right? July 2024. Mr. John Boyd, but they gave it to other people too. Keep listening. More than 23,000 farmers were approved for payments ranging from $10,000 to $500,000, according to the USDA. Another 20,000 who planned to start a farm but did not receive USDA loan received between $3,500 and $6,000. So how many of y'all know, even though they owe billions and billions of dollars, and I'm talking about just the black farmers, but they made the black farmers suffer and get money for the other people too, that didn't suffer Jim Crow lynching and other stuff like us. But nevertheless, some of the black farmers got some money. So the black farmers had to threaten the Democrats and tell the Democrats, look, we're not going to vote for y'all come the election if we're going to sit down with the Republicans if y'all don't cut these checks. So lo and behold, the agricultural secretary came out and announced, hey, they're going to give them a little measly $2 billion. They were owed more. I think they may have gotten some more since then, but that's a little bit of money. Now, how many of y'all know that if you've been waiting since Jim Crow to get money that was owed to you because you were discriminated against by the U.S. government, how many of you all know that if a lot of those checks range from $10,000 to $500,000, how many of y'all know that right before the election, when you see a wire coming in for $300,000, that make you say, oh, okay. They might do something. How many of y'all know if you see a check for $500 million, you know you owe way, way more, but you like this something though. This something though. I can make payroll for a year. Talk black to me, somebody. How many of y'all know that when you see even that, what they say between 10,000 and 500,000, how many of y'all know if you're a smaller farmer getting that 10,000? So for some folks, that's something that still make you that do something for you. Talk black to me. Thank y'all for putting the stilettos and the boots in the chat for me. We got to keep our foot on their necks. Well, I want y'all to keep that in mind because I want to remind you all just who these folks are, but I'm going to give you a little bit more deep historical insight. I've talked about this many, many times before, but before I go there, I want y'all to see something that just happened. Somebody say just a few weeks ago. Are y'all listening? I said just a few weeks ago, this lady who I just mentioned to you before, I skipped already because I wanted to give y'all background on Mr. John Boyd and some of the black farmers' plights to let you all know the recent thing that they had to do to pull a magic trick on the Democrats to even get their little two measly $1 billion. Like I said, I think they may have gotten a little bit more since then, but they're owed way more, right? Y'all listen. So I found some information from this white lady who's a farmer. She used to be a farmhand. She has her own farm and stuff, I believe now. Anyway, she was running for office. She's very knowledgeable about a lot of stuff that's going on with these white farmers, right? She's white. In the context of this clip that I want you to listen to is specifically her talking about white farmers and Donald Trump, right? Again, her name is Sarah Tabor. Now, in her description here, it says, I'm a farmer, and I'm always surprised when people say we were lied to about Trump, about what Trump would do to us. She's talking about the white farmers, right? She said, we weren't. She said, U.S. farmers knew Trump planned another trade war and that it would hurt our businesses. And a lot of farmers just voted for him anyway. Want to know why? That's what this is about. Okay, y'all? I'm giving y'all the context, right? So y'all listen to a little bit of what this white lady who was running for office said, who's an insider. A lot of people don't watch this video, but mainstream media isn't talking about this. Watch this. Talk to us, Sarah.
Hi, I am a farmer, and something we may have been hearing a lot from farmers is we're having a big emergency financially because of the tariffs and the trade war. And something I keep hearing is we were lied to. We didn't think Trump would do this. So as someone who is a farmer and was a farmer during the Trump 2024 election cycle, in fact, I was running for office as Commissioner of Agriculture in my home state of North Carolina. Let me tell you what the conversation in agriculture was actually like. I can't recall anybody who actually thought Trump wasn't going to start a trade war. What do you mean we were lied to? Everyone knew this was going to happen. Because for one thing, he was running on starting a trade war with China again. And for another, he already did it once. Everybody knew this was going to happen. Everybody in agriculture knew this was going to happen. And as someone who's a farmer and not necessarily aligned politically with most farmers, I found that kind of confusing, just like most people do. Oh, I should mention, in 2024, I was running as a Democrat, right? So I was talking with farmers and I was talking about politics with people. Everybody knew Trump was going to start a trade war because he ran on that. He campaigned on that, and he already did it once. Everybody knew he was going to do this.
So family, I need y'all to really understand what this white lady named Sarah is saying. She talking about her white colleague farmers, mostly. The Yankees. Yankee Doodle. Look, I'm 46. How many of y'all was singing them songs when you was in school? I was born and raised in Mississippi, so we were singing all kinds of songs. Yankee Doodle went to. How many of y'all sung that? Somebody put some horses in the chat. She said they knew, baby. She said they knew that Trump was going to do this, and then wait till the other stuff she getting ready. It's going to be explosive. I'm going to go through it real fast. Why are you laughing at me, Miss Lisa? Yankee Doodle went to town and stuff. Y'all put them horses in the chat. Put all the farm stuff in the chat for me. So she said they knew, not only because Trump campaigned that he was going to start a trade war, which obviously affects disproportionately farmers. She said, what did he do? She said he did it before. See, people be having amnesia. When Trump was in office the first time, he did some shady stuff. He imposed a whole lot of unjust tariffs and a lot of economic sanctions against China. How many of y'all know that when Biden got into office, the Biden administration kept Trump's anti-China restrictions in place? Did y'all know that? But the Biden administration was a little more hush-hush about their hate toward China. I see the Yankee Doodles with the town. Talk black to me, somebody. Thank y'all for the horses and stuff. Now keep listening.
Now, like most people, I thought, this is insane. How are farmers whose job depends on exports going to support a guy who is promising to destroy their business? I got an opportunity to sit down with the farm lobbyist, and credit to him, he did actually sit down with me because I was running as a Democrat. A lot of farm spokespeople just wouldn't. And I asked
now, be quiet. Now, let me stop right there. I want to, and it's the reason why I'm cutting up this video, y'all, for online reasons. Okay. Now, notice she said not only was she an insider for North Carolina, she was running for an agricultural government position herself, but she sat down with the lobbyists. That's who she's talking about, right? Thank you for them chickens in the chat. Talk black to me. Somebody put the chickens, the roosters, all of them. I want us to get back interested in farming, black family. I'm gonna tell you why in a minute. You're gonna hear her tell why in a minute. Now she don't know she talking to black folks about it, and she don't know how Vicki Dillard was gonna use this. I talked about it everywhere, baby. I'm going to tell it. Okay? Vicki Dillard is going to be on other platforms telling it. I'm going to tell it here, there, and everywhere. Yankee Doodle went to. Vicki, please, girl. Watch this. So then she said she sat down and talked to a lobbyist, right? Now, mind you, she just told you that she wanted to talk to some of the other ones wouldn't talk to her. So she really leaking this information. They don't want to come out and say what they know. But watch this. Y'all listen, okay? Brother said, tell it like it is. I got to tell it like it is, baby. Listen, here she go.
Point blank, I said, hey, we all know this is going to happen. We all know this is his plan to start a trade war that is going to hurt your businesses just like it did last time. We all know this, right? He said, yep, yeah, we know. And I said, then explain to me why we're supporting this guy. Make it make sense to me. I said, explain it to me like I'm 5, because I am a Democrat, so you'll have no trouble speaking to me like I'm 5. So let's start with that. And he said, listen, we understand there's some risks with being part of the Trump coalition. We understand there's some risks to us, but we also understand that there are going to be some benefits. And
y'all, what did she say? She said, we know there's some risk. They said he did it before where Trump did a trade war against us. It was devastating. But there's going to be some rewards. So she said they knew all the stuff that he did before. They knew he was going to do the tariffs. They knew it was going to mess with their business. Y'all listen, right? Y'all hit that thumbs up button. Share, share, share. Thumbs up, share, share, share. And family, don't forget, you can still get your mini gavels. I still got some oud oils. Just a few, because most of the ones I only got a small restock recently. And y'all almost still, they back down. I got a handful left. And I got some more coming later on. So y'all be patient with me. But go on to my website, get your little magazines, get your gavels, and get your Talk Black to Me t-shirts. And tag me with your Talk Black to Me t-shirts. And you may be on one of my social media platforms too with your t-shirts on, okay? Okay, Vicki, y'all listen. Y'all listening? Thumbs up, thumbs up. If one of y'all could put my website in there, VickiPlanet.com, one of my moderators, put that in the chat for me, precious. Or I may be able to do it in a minute. But y'all listen.
He wouldn't elaborate beyond that. But let's
wait a minute.
This just a minute.
She said he wouldn't elaborate beyond that. They don't want us to know all this, y'all. Are y'all listening? I done hit the wrong button.
Coalition. We understand there's some risks to us.
Hold on. I got to get it back to where I wanted to go.
And I asked him point blank, I said, hey, we all know this is going to happen. We all know this is his plan to start a trade war that is going to hurt your businesses just like it did last time. We all know this, right? He said, yep, yeah, we know. And I said, then explain to me why we're supporting this guy.
Why?
Make it make sense to me. I said, explain it to me like I'm 5, because I am a Democrat, so you'll have no trouble speaking to me like I'm 5. So let's start with that. And he said, listen, we understand there's some risks with being part of the Trump coalition. We understand there's some risks to us, but we also understand that there are going to be some benefits. And he wouldn't elaborate beyond that. But let's unpack this.
He wouldn't elaborate. Y'all listening?
Could that have meant, right? What kind of benefits could people have been looking forward to that might have made up for the fact that we're about to start a trade war? And everybody knew it. Well, first off, last time Trump did this, he just gave farmers a lot of free money. So I'm sure people assume that would happen again. And we'll get back to
Stop. She said last time. That means when he was in office 4 years prior to that. She said he gave them some money before. Black family, Mr. John Boyd and all the other black farmers. Did you all know that Trump hooked up the white farmers with some other benefits before? Did y'all know that? I said, did y'all know that? I'm trying to pin the website link. I didn't hit the wrong button. Cool Keezy. And Vicki looking too good, telling it too with the Lord, I'm not playing with y'all. My mask is out there, y'all. Somebody pay y'all to say all this stuff. But listen, I'm trying to pin. Okay, here it is. Y'all, this is where you go to my website to check out my store to get all the products that I just mentioned. Let me see. Can I pin it? Pin. Y'all, look, I be trying to do it, y'all, without the help with the people and stuff. I be needing help, y'all. Y'all listen, okay? She said he did it before. I'm trying to get y'all to see. They knew what Trump, but a lot of this was secret. Y'all hearing me? I said some of this was secret. Mainstream media wasn't covering this.
That in a second, because it's Thursday, the 11th of September, and that hasn't happened yet. Let's talk about what else Trump has done for farmers. He did make it easier to do slavery on farms and get away with it. And I don't even mean 13th Amendment, which is already technically legal.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, he made it easier to bring in H-2A workers and treat them like trash. Okay, he made it easier to do that. There were some reforms to the H-2A system in 2024 because we found that a lot of people were abusing it and enslaving workers, keeping them trapped in this country, keeping them from leaving, threatening their families to force them to work harder.
Now I want you, hold. Let me stop. How many of y'all been hearing about these H-1B visas and all this stuff? She said that Trump allowed the farmers to take advantage of some of those visa programs, even though some of them different for the farmers. but they still similar. She said he allowed them to take advantage of it so that they can keep cheap labor on their farms. She even talks about later how some of the folks, some of the farm workers, y'all know how Trump told us he was against the illegals and the farmers, the migrants and stuff, a lot of them. She said that some of them was trying to go home, and because of those visa restrictions and stuff, that some of the farmers would contact some of the migrants here in America and get their family to talk them into staying there so they can get cheap money using them visa programs. Exactly. All them ties to the illegals. Y'all see that? So while they sit there playing with that, they playing with the visa program and not telling you how Trump and them secretly doing all this other kind of stuff with similar visa programs. Are y'all listening? Some of the illegals want to be here, but the 2 or 3 that was on these people's farms, they was trying to go home. And they was being threatened. Tell Black to meet somebody. Y'all listen?
That's not slavery. What is? So he did that. Trump did that for farmers. He made it easier to keep people in bondage. So that's a benefit. There was, of course,
Let me stop. Trump did that for who? Somebody tell me in the chat. I know my chat is going kind of slow, but somebody tell me in the chat. Trump did that for who? For farmers. Cool Kesey said both parties love the illegals. Yes, that's why I've been telling y'all. That's why I was telling y'all it was a trick the first time. But our reasons for being against ICE had to do with us stopping all of our immediate money going to them for housing and cars and jobs and contracts and a bunch of other stuff. That's separate from what what people don't realize. One of the largest pieces of legislation that took place for migrants before after the 60s, because after the 60s, during the 60s, actually, a major piece of legislation happened right around the same time as Voting Rights Acts and Civil Rights, and that had to do with Black folks' momentum. But the ones that took place in the 80s, guess who was responsible for that? A Republican president by the name of Reagan, Ronald Reagan. That's the reason why y'all find a lot of Latinos that love Ronald Reagan, because it was him that passed that major legislation that helped them illegals. See, a lot of folks don't know that. Don't y'all let them throw us in no trick bag. But I'm not done. Y'all listen real quick. I'm trying to get through it real quick. Here we go. Listen to the next part.
A beautiful bill that had lots and lots of tax.
Wait a minute. She's talking about
farmers.
I gotta rewind. I'm gonna be quiet so y'all can hear this. The big beautiful bill. Y'all know that's the bill that was just barely passed here a few months ago, right? We talking about in modern times. We ain't going back right now, even no year or two. We talking about just the past couple months when that big beautiful bill passed, right? That's under Trump, right? What did she say? Listen.
Which is already technically legal. I mean, he made it easier to bring in H-2A workers and treat them like trash. Okay, he made it easier to do that. There were some reforms to the H-2A system in 2024 because we found that a lot of people were abusing it and enslaving workers, keeping them trapped in this country, keeping them from leaving, threatening their families to force them to work harder and not paying them enough. You know, if that's not slavery, what is?
Listen.
So he did that. Trump did that for farmers. He made it easier to keep people in bondage. So that's a benefit. There was, of course, the big, beautiful bill that had lots and lots of tax breaks, which farmers are really interested in because folks don't realize this, but farmers are actually quite wealthy. The majority of small family farmers at this point in U.S. history are millionaires.
Stop, Vicki. Vicki, stop, Vicki. See, this is why they don't fool with Vicki like that. What did she say? Most folks don't know this, but most farmers are what? She said, what did she say? She said most folks don't know this, but most farmers are what? Millionaires. Y'all see how farmers let us make you think that they them Yankees and honky tonks and stuff? Y'all see how they let us see because they look dusty and dirty and got them boots and stuff, but they got houses and land and property and possessions? She gonna break it down? Let me go back just a little bit. I told you I'm breaking this up for a reason. I'm looking at the timestamps and all that for a reason.
Okay. He made it easier to do that. There were some reforms to the H-2A system in 2024 because we found that a lot of people were abusing it and enslaving workers, keeping them trapped in this country, keeping them from leaving, threatening their families to force them to work harder.
Y'all hit that thumbs up button.
You know, If that's not slavery, what is? So he did that. Trump did that for farmers. Mm-hmm. He made it easier to keep people in bondage. So that's a benefit. There was, of course, the big, beautiful bill that had lots and lots of tax breaks, which farmers are really interested in because folks don't realize this, but farmers are actually quite wealthy. The majority of small family farmers at this point in U.S. history are millionaires. Most small family farmers are millionaires. So this is a group of people, farmers, who are very, very interested in tax breaks because they have a lot of estate and a lot of property to think about tax-wise. This is something that kind of drives me nuts. As someone who came up in agriculture as a farm worker, working for farmers,
listen,
I keep saying, but farmers are working class. They're voting against their working class interests. When will they wake up? Never, because they're not working class. We've had the numbers on this for decades. The USDA's had data on this for years on the internet where you could just look it up.
I'm stopping there because I'm showing you that these are charts that keep popping up. She's giving you the receipts. I want you all to go to the USDA website, the U.S. government website. She said we've had the numbers and the data on this for years. She said they are not working class. Silly. She said, and of course it makes sense when you think about it now, right? She said they got what? Property. They've got land. And she's going to break down how the equipment that they have to have is not cheap. She said they're quite wealthy. We didn't let them play us. So we've been out there talking about working class because they got blue jeans on, Levi's and stuff. Do they have blue jean emojis? And this is a problem with us when we say we don't want to talk about slavery no more. No, I want to talk about all the cotton picking in the world because we need to get back to that farming. We need to get back to land. Now y'all see why they was discriminated against black farmers so hard. Not only did they feed the community and feed the nation, baby, they was rich. There was land. They want land write-offs, property write-off, all that stuff. Put them blue jeans in the chat. Get some blue jeans and stop. Thank y'all for them blue jeans. Watch this.
No one's ever bothered to look. We just assumed farmers were working class because, I don't know, big trucks, because those are cheap. Yeah, I don't know why people think farmers are working class. Land and tractors and trucks ain't cheap. It's not that complicated. You know, we had a century where, yeah, the smallest, poorest family farmers were getting pushed out. Well, what happens after a century then? Who's left? It's not poor people, is it? So anyway, that's another big bet.
I need y'all to stop right there because she broke down, yes, at one time, the small farmers got pushed out. But she said that was a century ago. She said, what happens after a century? Who's left holding the bag after a century? The farmers that's millionaires, she's telling you. She said farmers are not working class. Talk black to me, somebody. One of my notices just came through saying breaking news. Letitia James, Letitia James, they said the one that was that Trump hated, the black DA, they said she just got indicted. I haven't had a chance to read it all. Letitia James is indicted after Trump pressure campaign. New York Attorney General, who had brought a civil case against President Trump, is accused of committing mortgage fraud. Her indictment came on the heels of an indictment of a former FBI director, James Comey. Child, I ain't got a chance to read all the article. I'm just telling you what just came through, child. Say breaking news. Lord have mercy. Y'all hit that thumbs up button. Share. Listen, let me get back to this. I'm almost done, y'all. Can y'all give me a couple more minutes?
People save you.
Watch this. Give me a couple more minutes. I gotta get it back to the far. Hold on. Let me find what was I at.
It's not poor people, is it? So anyway, that's another big benefit that farmers got from Trump is big tax breaks. That big, beautiful bill also had, was it 52 billion in additional free money for.
Okay, let me go back because I want y'all to see what she said because I want y'all to think I'm making this up. Here we go. Y'all listening?
You could just look it up. No one's ever bothered to look. We just assumed farmers were working class because, I don't know, big trucks, because those are cheap. Yeah, I don't know why people think farmers are working class. Land and tractors and trucks ain't cheap. It's not that complicated. You know, we had a century where, yeah, the smallest, poorest family farmers were getting pushed out. Well, what happens after a century then? Who's left? It's not poor people, is it? So anyway, that's another big benefit that farmers got from Trump is
listen,
tax breaks.
Here we go.
That big, beautiful bill also had, was it 52 billion in additional free money for farmers? But of course, that's not enough. They're expecting other bailouts to come after that. And that is not.
Whoever just said Green Acres 2025, baby, I think I'm gonna have to use that phrase from now on. Did you hear what she said? The big beautiful bill that just passed. She said 52 billion for farmers, and they're expecting, she said, others after that. Let me go back. Hold on, let me go back. Did y'all hear that? It's 52 billion for the farmers in the big beautiful bill, but she said they expecting some more.
The tractors and trucks ain't cheap.
Hold
It's
on.
not that complicated. You know, we had a century where, yeah, the smallest, poorest family farmers were getting pushed out. Well, what happens after a century?
Wait a minute, listen.
Left? It's not poor people, is it? So anyway, that's another big benefit that farmers got from Trump is big tax breaks. That big beautiful bill also had, was it 52 billion in additional free money for farmers? But of course, that's not enough. They're expecting other bailouts to come after.
She said that's not enough,
and that has not been available so far. So everybody's starting to sweat just a little bit.
So in addition to the $52 billion for farmers, she said from that big beautiful bill, she said they was expecting other bailouts that hadn't came yet. So they sweating, she said. Now, when I first played the video, remember she said in the beginning, for the first few minutes, she said that Trump had did it for him before, gave him free money the first time he was in office. Did y'all hear that?
Shoot, what else was there? Oh yeah, environmental regulations. Yeah, environmental regulations was another thing they didn't like very much, and looks like those are not happening so much anymore either. So when people tell you, as farmers, we were lied to, that is absolutely not the case. We all knew what was coming. I thought we all knew this was the bargain we were driving. So when people come up and say now, oh, we were lied to, by what, your own eyes? You didn't notice last time you did this? What do you mean you were lied to? To genuinely think you were lied to, I think at this point you had to have wanted to be lied to. And that's not being lied to anymore. That's participating in a little group blurb activity.
I'm going to stop right there. I just wanted to give y'all a little receipts. I gave y'all her names. You can go look it up. I also gave you one of the websites that she referred to, the U.S. government's website, so you can find out all the money and how rich them farmers are. She said most of millionaires. She said most of millionaires. She broke down some of the benefits that's in the big beautiful bill, and she said they expected other bailouts to come. She said they sweating because they ain't got that extra money that they was expecting. She said they knew. She said they was not lied to. She said they knew. Trump did it before. They told him what was what. Nothing. She said no. She said no. White people, y'all wasn't lied to. Y'all had all the truth. That's what the white lady said. The white farmer lady, who's a farmer and got the money and was running for office. And was talking to one of the lobbyists and the stuff. Now, I got to go. How many of y'all know I quote from this book often called How White Folks Got So Rich? Hell, I even quoted from this book when I did my reparations speech in Washington, D.C. It's many. You can read this book practically on the lunch break. I want to read one part from about just a little bit of the history because it doesn't give, it gets to the point on multiple portions of legislation, so you can do your own research after you read whatever section. So that's why I like this book, because it talks about a bunch of different things and it kind of leads you in a direction to where you can do your own research independently and go further if you choose. On page 72, what does this say on page? Let me do it like, can y'all see this? What does it say on page 72? What's the headline that say right there on page 72? The book called How White Folks Got So Rich. Just pull it up. You can buy it from the NOI.org.com or .org. Y'all see this title here? That's a section I'm reading where it says Farmers Home Administration, the FHA, for whites only. Y'all listen. At the end of legal slavery in 1865, blacks were concentrated in the agriculture sector of America. See, this white folks getting karma is what that is, baby. They were more likely than whites to own farms. Who was more likely to own farms, family, back in the day? Thank you, Cool Keezy, for telling them to follow me on Instagram, on X. Y'all listening? They were more likely than whites to own farms, though they held less acreage and had poor quality tracts of land. Y'all listen. It says, despite this reality, the Farmers Home Administration, the FHA, was set up in 1930 to give loans and subsidies to white farmers to sustain and maintain their operations. Now, when was the FHA, which stands for what? The Farmers Home Administration, When was it set up? I said 1913. Somebody said 1913. It was set up in 1913 to give loans and subsidies to what farmers? What farmers? 1930, baby. 1930. What farmers? To the white farmers. Somebody say that's the DEI right there. That's white welfare. That's the welfare queen and kings. I don't want y'all to tell me nothing about no black woman getting no extra $20 on food stamps for raise 3 kids. I don't want to hear nothing about that. Talk black to me, somebody. Y'all listening? Listen. The Farmers Home Administration, the FHA, was set up in 1930 to give loans and subsidies to white farmers to sustain and maintain their operations. That's a hell of some welfare right there. Y'all listening? To achieve this unstated racist purpose, the FHA allowed local whites to operate the program. And they, not the federal government, decided who would get the critical benefits. Did y'all know that? Madam, somebody said you do great research. Thank you, beloved. I know people be thinking because Vicki is all fun and games and bam the gal, baby, I'm very serious. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Don't play with it. Tell the mortals, baby. Did y'all hear that? It says what? To achieve this unstated racist purpose, the FHA allowed local whites to operate the program. Did y'all know that? And they, not the federal government, decided who would get those critical benefits. As a result, Black-owned farms, unable to compete with the well-subsidized and well-financed white farms, fell dramatically from 900,000, that's almost a million in 1930, to 682,000 in 1939. Many of the whites used the government money to modernize by buying tractors and evicting Black sharecroppers. Somebody say karma. Somebody say karma, baby. Congress amended the law to say that half the money should go to those tenant farmers, but the white landholders simply stole the farmers' payments, claiming, if asked, the debts were owed. Did y'all hear what I said right there? I said, did y'all hear what I said right there? Let me keep going. By 1964, right? 34 years later? By 1964, a study found that every program, and they italicized the word every. By 1964, a study found that every program, now this is still during Jim Crow, y'all, the study found this. So you know that was probably right. By 19, because white folks don't like to admit when they discriminate and they do shady stuff. And this was during that time in 1964. By 1964, a study found that every program administered by the U.S. Department of Agriculture was rife with racial discrimination. The federal loans from the USDA were used by local white administrators to retaliate against Black farmers for their support for civil rights efforts or for simply voting or attempting to vote. Just before his murder by the United States government, the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King had shifted his focus from a social and political agenda to the acquisition of land. In 1968, he spoke at a rural Mississippi church and put land front and center. How many of y'all remember when Dr. King was talking about land and he was talking about reparations and stuff? Well, watch what Dr. King exposed in 1968. Y'all listening? In this church in Mississippi. What did he say? And I'm quoting. What did Dr. King expose in 1968? Y'all listen. Quote, at the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today, many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm. And they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself up by his own bootstraps. This is what we are faced with, and this is our reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this Poor People's Campaign, the word poor people's is in brackets, because that's what he's referring to. We're coming to get our check. Now, how come every time they talk about Dr. King, now they always talking about he said he want to shake the hands of white people and white boys and white girls and all that? No, before Dr. King got out of here, he said we coming to DC to get our check. Somebody put some money in the check. Somebody put some dollars in the check. Let me tell y'all something. In my monthly mastermind school, y'all see the website link that I got pinned up here. My brother Cool Keys and my moderator here, he put it in the chat. I pinned it. Go to my website and join my school today. For the past several months, I've been talking about manifesting out of thin air. Not because y'all don't never hear me talk about I'm some business traditional expert, but I am a spiritual channel. And my spiritual team has made clear to me that in this new season, the economics are shifting. And we better be positioned so that we can shift the economy, the spiritualists. Now, I know y'all want to be over here and act like that you spiritual because you talking about it ain't all about the money. No, it's not all about the money, silly. But if money is going to make my life better, and if money is going to allow me to be a better asset and blessing to my community, somebody said, show me the money. Show me the money. Unapologetically show me the money. You are a fool if you want to give that up. And at the same time, you sit up here talking about struggle. Is that your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ plan for your life? The devil is a lie. No, I want my money. I want my money. I said, I want my money. I want my money. You ain't spiritual and you ain't deep. No, we want our money. We want our money. Cut that check. I want my money. And Dr. King exposed that in 1968. These white farmers and the U.S. government have been making mischief against us and our people with the farms for a long time. And obviously we were the experts on it because we was the one that was working the land. We were agrarian geniuses. Agricultural geniuses. And now every time somebody talk about picking cotton, we want to hear about picking cotton. No, we believe in picking cotton for us. See, the problem we had with picking cotton back in the day is because it was for y'all. See, they want us to disassociate ourselves with the land. Like that white lady just exposed. She said, farmers are rich. She said, we ain't talking about no 100 years ago when they were struggling. No, they rich. They rich. They rich. They millionaires. They rich. And in that big, beautiful bill that just passed the other day, let's just say the other day, it was 52 billion in there, 52 billion in there for goodies for farmers. And she said they were still expecting other goodies. Other bailouts after that. And she revealed what? She said Trump did the same thing for them farmers the first time in his first administration. But we supposed to be jumping up and down with the black farmer John Boyd like this is some breakthrough because they got $2 billion little measly dollars that they was actually owed. And did you all know that one of the holdups to the black farmers in recent years getting the checks that they were due, a little portion of the checks they would do, the little down payment on the checks they was due, did you all know that fellow Latino Democrats was one of the ones that held it up? Y'all, I don't forgot the man's name. What's that Latino man that was indicted and then got convicted in court for scamming? Y'all, what's that? Was it out of New Jersey? Y'all, please, not Martinez. Was it Martinez? Y'all, Senator, somebody help me with his name. Yeah, I ain't trying to look this up right now. Somebody tell me what's the Latino senator's name that just he was convicted. I think he in prison now. Y'all, I ain't trying to look this up. Y'all help me. No, I ain't no Velez. Velez, that's the New Jersey one I talked about that's running for office on a local level. I'm talking about the senator, y'all. Thank y'all, Bob Menendez. Did you all know that Menendez was one of the senators that held up the black farmers from getting their money? Not too long ago, before he got convicted. Did y'all know that? Yeah. And John Boyd stepped up and told us that he called Reverend Al Sharpton. And Reverend Al Sharpton knew about the shady stuff that was going on. He called Reverend Al Sharpton to make a phone call. And Reverend Al Sharpton went behind the scenes and made a phone call. That rat, Al Sharpton, went behind, made a phone call. And I think that helped to move the process along a little further. But Reverend Al Sharpton knows that the Democrats are behind holding up and dogging black folks, but he don't come out like he ought to go off on them like that. He make little personal phone calls for one or two little people here and there. That's a corruption in D.C. Crystal said, I keep mixing up the girl, they forgettable. I understand why you mix up Valdez with Menendez. But you clearly saw my broadcast on Valdez, because Valdez, that's a Latino lawmaker out there too. Remember, he threatened to pull out a gun on a black lawmaker out there. Y'all don't know what she's talking about. I may have to do that broadcast here. But I'm talking about on African Now. Y'all don't see me talk about this on these other platforms. I don't be playing. But we don't be, I have to bring this to our attention because we got to know what's going on in the halls of the local government. Crystal is laughing, baby. I understand, baby. Talk black to me, somebody. But family, let me get ready to go. Make sure that you get your mini gals, get your Talk Black to Me t-shirts, and join my school at VickiPlanet.com. The link is right here. You can access my store. You can access the link, baby. We're talking about supernatural stuff. A lot of stuff that you all are hearing in the news, both nationally and geopolitically, that's to say internationally, I discuss in my schools. I discuss in my special courses. There are things that I can't discuss in detail online. That's why we do it offline. The information I share is that heavy. In fact, I'm going to be announcing, I'm talking way in advance. My team trying to get their stuff together behind the scenes. I'm getting my special academies together, a bunch of stuff behind the scenes. Plus, I'm getting ready to do on the side another special webinar where I'm getting ready to talk about some stuff that has to do with the ancient black symbols. We were the original holders of the Vatican before these knuckleheads took over. But I'm going to show you how even former Fox News folks are freaking out about certain occultic practices that they coming out talking about now. Y'all ain't ready for that. I know what my spirits be telling me. You can play with it if you want to. You can be dumb if you want to. You can mock it if you want to. You better tap in while you can. The link is above. I love y'all so much. Thank you for tuning in to my personal channel here at VickiDillard.tv. Again, stay tuned. Family, when you go to my website, go to the website to subscribe to my email list. Why? Because I'm going to be, my broadcast now, they're using some of my broadcasts that they're putting them on other alternative streaming services. They've already started one broadcast at a time, little bit by little bit. Talk Black to Me, somebody. My book is coming out. I was in the Final Call newspaper before. I got some other news that's coming up about another article that's coming out soon. So, baby, Vicki, you ain't just finna keep me one-dimensional. Lorraine, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold, beloved. All y'all have been given. Your gifts are blessed. Cool Kesey said, thank you for another great broadcast. You are so welcome, precious. I love y'all so much. I bow to you. You are my bliss. Stay tuned. I wanted you to join my email list at Vicki Planet. That's my website. So when you click my website link, that's pinned. Go to VickiPlanet.com, VICKI, planet.com. Scroll to the bottom of the website, input your information. Why? Because if you want the information on the platforms I'm going to be on, you'll get it there. If you want to know when I'm doing special broadcasts, you'll get it there. If you want to get regular promotions of what Vicki is up to outside of these platforms, you'll get it there. How many of y'all know sometimes they make it difficult for you to find me on these other broadcasts? TikTok be playing, Instagram be playing half the time, hell, YouTube be playing sometimes. So that we're not restricted. I mean, y'all know we follow the rules on these different platforms. I gotta be able to talk the way I want to talk when I'm doing my private broadcasts, when I'm doing my schools and stuff. So tap in, okay? I love y'all so much. I love you back, Miss Lisa. You welcome, precious. I love y'all so much. I can't wait to see you again.